What's going on, everyone? My name's Obi, and welcome back to the Courtside Financial Podcast, where we talk about business and technology. If you listened to yesterday's episode about the great auto transformation, then buckle up, because today's news is going to validate literally everything that we talked about yesterday, essentially. Xiaomi just launched their YU7 SUV, and they've got around 200,000 orders in 3 minutes, literally 3 minutes. Yesterday we were talking about traditional dealerships collapsing and new distribution models taking over. Xiaomi just proved that when you get the formula right, the rules don't just bend, they completely shatter. So this isn't just another car launch, this is exactly what happens when tech companies don't pretend to be car companies. They actually become or execute in a matter that they start being what they actually are, experience companies that just so happen to make cars. Let's talk about what just happened, because the speed of this is unprecedented. Xiaomi's got their YU7, there's 3 variants. There's the standard at 253,000 yuan, that's about $35,000. There's the pro version at 279,900 yuan, and that's around $38,500. And then the max version at 329,900 yuan, roughly $45,500. Here's what's crazy: they're including 0 front gravity seats and an electric front trunk. Free on the standard version is a limited time offer. Pro gets dual chamber air suspension, and the Max, well, they get a charging rate of 5.2 C, and that means 620 kilometers of range in just 15 minutes. Now I know what you're thinking, Obi, these are just refundable deposits. Fair point, but remember in yesterday's episode we talked about how 84% of traditional dealers are selling cars at a loss. Xiaomi just bypassed that entire broken system. They went straight to consumers, and consumers responded by putting their money down immediately. Pricing strategy here, it's surgical. Look at the Pro version at $38,500. It has dual chamber air suspension, and that's comparable to the Li Auto L7, which costs $41,500. Then you've got the Denza L7 flagship, that's around $40,000. So Xiaomi's clearly undercutting premium features while still delivering tech that actually matters to consumers. But here's the kicker: they did a 24-hour performance test, 3,944 kilometers in 24 hours, driver swapping, but the car never stopping. They beat the Porsche Taycan and the Mercedes CLA, which did the same test. This isn't just about price anymore, it's about proving that they can really build cars that seriously compete with European luxury. Yesterday I talked about NIO's smart distributor strategy and the robo-taxi rate. But what Xiaomi is doing is something completely different. They're playing narrative economics at a level that even companies like Tesla should be kind of concerned about. Tesla built their story around Silicon Valley disruptions and Mars missions, premium minimalism for tech pioneers. That worked when they were the only game in town. Xiaomi's story, a self-pleasing philosophy. And before you laugh, think about what that actually means in today's market. Xiaomi's CEO Li Jun explained why they didn't make a 6-seater SUV like everyone else. He said SUV stands for sport utility vehicle, and they wanted to stay true to making a real sports SUV. Then he took a shot at the competition. Color TV, refrigerator, large sofa, those things are important, but the driving experience, the driver's experience should matter too. That's a direct hit at Li Auto's whole daddy car with their large sofa positioning and refrigerators and all the other quirks that they're putting in to their vehicles. That's brilliant though, because Xiaomi's saying we're not building cars for your kids, we're building cars for you. The design backs this up. 9 interior colors called flowing gold powder. That's specifically for female buyers. But they kept the sleek design instead of boxy SUV like everyone else is doing. Here's what's brilliant about this. Xiaomi has 15 years of product making experience. They know how to build products that people want, not just checkbox specifications, crossing things off the list. So I'm gonna keep this video pretty short because I've got to go somewhere, and started recording kind of late today. But anyways, Xiaomi's really doing their thing. They're really showing their dominance. They're showing that they're not just a one-hit wonder. They're showing that they can create at a high level, take it to the net, and keep on improving on things, and really give the market what it's kind of thirsting for. Xiaomi is definitely a competitor to watch out for, and I'm saying this as someone who's bullish and invested in NIO. Anyways, That's it for today's episode of the Courtside Financial Podcast. Hope you guys found this enjoyable, useful, at the very least entertaining. I'll catch you in the next episode of the Courtside Financial Podcast. This is O signing off. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Goodbye.